I've been using password managers for more than 15 years. In the very beginning, when I was using Linux, it was KeePassX. Or maybe some fork of it I honestly don't remember anymore. Then I switched to Mac, and at that time, one of the most popular solutions was 1Password. I started using it, really liked it, and bought it. Back then it was a one-time purchase, no subscription. You just bought the app and it was yours. Subscription models weren't that common yet. Everything worked great for me, especially the design and overall interface quality. The app looked excellent and was very convenient to use, but over time, 1Password was rewritten in JavaScript and started using Electron. The interface and performance became slightly worse. Still, I accepted it and continued using the app. Then they made the decision to abandon local vaults and move fully to the cloud. If you wanted to use 1Password, you had to store all your passwords on their server. There were no other options left. Before that, everything worked differently. Your password database was stored locally on your computer, and you could sync it however you wanted, via Dropbox, Google Drive, or any other service. For me, that was the perfect setup. When they fully switched to the cloud model, and as far as I remember, that's also when the subscription appeared, I realized I wasn't comfortable with it. Not so much because of the subscription itself, that didn't really bother me, but because of cloud storage. I didn't like the idea that my data no longer truly belonged to me, and that I was just accessing it through someone else's service. In case of an error, outage, or account lock, I could lose access to all my passwords, and that's essentially the digital version of my entire life. So I decided to move to something else. I started looking for macOS alternatives and settled on Enpass. The most important thing was that it worked with a local database. The fact that it was paid didn't bother me. I bought it and forgot about it. Another undeniable advantage was a solid iPhone client. Overall, I was satisfied and used it peacefully for several years. But one day, something strange happened. I launched Enpass, and instead of showing my passwords, it told me that my license was invalid. And then it closed. Even though I had obviously purchased it, and it had been working fine for a long time. Imagine the situation. I urgently needed access to a password, but the app simply wouldn't open. After some time, everything fixed itself. The program realized that the license was valid after all and opened normally. As you can imagine, the situation wasn't pleasant, even though it eventually resolved itself. That episode made me seriously rethink things. Even if the database is stored locally, if it's in a closed format and accessible only through a proprietary application, I'm still dependent on a specific company and its licensing system. At any moment, for reasons beyond my control, I could lose access to my own data. So Enpass stopped feeling like a good solution as well. After that incident, I started looking toward open source solutions. Of course, there was KeePassX for macOS, but I really didn't like how it looked. The interface felt outdated. After using carefully designed macOS apps, it was hard to go back to that kind of UI. But while exploring different password managers, I noticed something important. The KeePass database format, KDBX, is used by many different applications. It's an open format. And then I had a thought. If the database is stored locally and in an open format, even if one application stops working, I can always open the file with another one. For example, KeePass itself. That meant real control over my data. Eventually, I found an app in the App Store called Strongbox. It worked with the KeePass KDBX format, supported local storage and synchronization, exactly what I wanted. And it looked much more modern than the classic KeePass clients. It was paid, I bought it and started using it. Yes, visually it wasn't as polished as Enpass, but I decided I could get used to it. Overall, everything worked well. I've been using Strongbox for more than a year now, almost 2. The database is stored locally and synced across devices. Technically, everything suits me. But over time, I realized something important. For me, the visual aspect of an application really matters. I spend most of my time at the computer, and it's important that the tools I use every day bring some aesthetic pleasure. For some people, this might not be critical. For me, it is. Thinking about all of this, at some point everything came together. The database format, KDBX, is open. There are plenty of libraries to work with it. I'm a developer and can implement the functionality I need. I still haven't found an app that perfectly matches my UX and visual expectations. And then I realized, if I want a password manager that matches my requirements 100%, it's easier to build it myself. At the same time, this isn't just a personal tool, it's an interesting technical challenge, an opportunity to dive deeper into the KDBX format, cryptography, and UX decisions for such applications. And maybe it can grow into something bigger than just a personal project. But before I continue, I'd like to point out that all the password managers I mentioned are very good. Otherwise, I wouldn't have used them. I often recommend them to my friends. My decision to switch was based purely on my personal reasons and preferences, not because of any serious problems with those applications. If you're using them and you're happy with them, I'm genuinely glad for you. I believe they won't disappoint you. Alright, building my own password manager. Where should I start? I think best when I use analog tools, like a simple paper notebook and a pen. So, I'll start with a desktop application. The technology I've chosen is Tauri. It will allow me to maintain a single codebase and build apps for macOS, Windows and Linux at the same time. I don't really need mobile apps right now, so they can wait. Since I'll be using Tauri, where the front end is written in JavaScript, I'll go with my favorite framework, Vue.js. The backend will be written in Rust, although I don't expect to rely on it heavily in this project. Most of the core logic will likely be implemented in JavaScript. For working with password databases, I'll use the KDBX web library. It fully supports all the features of the KDBX format, which is exactly what I need for a fast start. Now I need a name. I've been thinking about it for the past few days, and I decided to go with Kivarion. It's a completely invented word, which should help avoid name conflicts with other apps, and make it easier to find in search results if someone becomes interested in the project. Now that we have a name, it's time to create the project skeleton. Creating a new app with Tauri takes just a single command. After that, a small wizard starts and asks a few standard questions. You need to provide the application name, which we already have, then the package name and the application identifier. Next, you choose the front-end language. As I mentioned earlier, in my case it will be JavaScript with Vue.js. That's it. The project is ready. Now I just need to install the JavaScript dependencies. At the moment I only have one, Vue.js. After that, we run the project and wait for it to compile. Oops, it didn't start. That's strange. I see. My Xcode was updated and I need to accept the new license agreement for some of the command line tools used to compile applications on macOS. Alright, let's accept the updated license agreement and try to build and run the application again. Success. Everything launched. As you can see, for now this is just the standard hello world for a desktop application, so to speak. And now we can finally start building the actual app. But not today. In the next part, I plan to implement opening password database files and basic viewing functionality. In theory, this shouldn't be too complicated. And once that works, it will finally feel like the program has come to life, like a small part of it is already functioning. Let's lock in this plan so we don't forget anything. First, opening a password database, and by opening, I mean reading it and decrypting it. Second, implementing basic viewing of the open database. Since a single entry form can be quite extensive, you can even store attached images and create many custom fields. It's unrealistic to implement full support for all of that in one go. So for now, I'll limit it to just the entry title and the email field. I think that will be more than enough for a start. The faster I implement this, the sooner the next video can come out. Alright, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. See you soon, and take care.